I'm on a date tonight, so I'll have to just look good at. I'll just do it in front of her. Going, he's kept going, he's scored! Oh, Stockport pressure. And the header into the back of the net. And a superb goal. Charlie did it. Lisa! Rose tries to get the ball in. It's a 5-star performance from Stockport County.
All right, we got a small house, but we got a big bloody heart, I tell you.
Hello and welcome to SK3 TV, the place to go for all things Stockport, including but not limited to county, music and culture, and of course the place to be for under-15s Floodlit Cup enthusiasts, of which we are too. Yes, we are of course the show for the thinking county fan, as long as the fan's thinking, oh, I wonder if Nick will be stopped from spilling any secrets this week. Spoiler alert, no secrets tonight. But what we do have is over an hour of county chat. We'll talk Stevenage, we'll talk Exeter, we'll look ahead to Rotherham on Saturday, and more importantly, we'll be giving you all the content you could possibly want related to the aforementioned under-15s Floodlit Cup. Because to be honest, that's why we're here. Is it not, Hannah?
Yes. And who'd have thought just 7 days ago that we would be uttering those words?
Craig David really missed a trick with 7 days. It was all about making love and chilling, but there was no mention of the under-15s FA Floodlit Cup.
And the thing about the Floodlit Cup, I said this a lot on Friday. Once I realised that I'm fairly sure the Floodlit Cup is a level in Mario Kart, that was what did it. I wish that I'd kind of learnt this earlier on in the season, because I took the piss out of Charlotte earlier on, and then I realised that actually we were very much Johnny come latelys to this whole shenanigans anyway, rocking up for the final, claiming we've discovered it. There have been many rounds before, so they have like a league and then the knockout bits, but yeah, it was definitely fun. But I wish I'd made the Mario Kart Association sooner, because it just made it far more exciting.
But we've got a national final to play, so you can do that all over again in the build-up. It's really exciting.
It is exciting, and there's still we don't know when it's going to be. We know that it'll be Plymouth or Watford.
We don't know when they're playing or where they're playing, but they're gonna be playing. That's what we do know. And the victor will get beaten by us in the final.
So it's like the playoff jeopardy of 2 years ago, where they just kept moving the fixtures around. People booked time off work, and then So last season, the Premier League final was on the 9th of May. So they have like a Premier League one, and then they have an EFL one. Yeah. But it was, we'll talk about it when we get through our chronological tour of Stockport County news, because as much as we joke about it being the only thing that happened, it has actually been quite a busy week.
It's been a very busy week. All I'll say on the matter for now is that I want all cups to be floodlit. I want it to be specified in the description of every single cup competition that it's floodlit. Or not, as the case may be. But most of them will be floodlit, won't they? At some point. Yeah,
I guess so. And the Friday night Floodlit Cup. Fridays for flood. No. Floodlit Friday.
Friday night is Floodlit Cup County night.
Yeah. And then in the courtyard, they could have Foodie Floodlit Friday.
Oh, God, all the Fs.
Yeah.
Foodie Floodlit Friday. Right, we will do some admin. We are, of course, proudly sponsored by Blackbird Kitchen on the pans at Gorilla in Manchester and serving up some top burgers at Impossible in Manchester. And they've got a new menu drop, which just tonight the menu has dropped. It's got all the old favourites on it, as well as some good new stuff, which is exciting. So check that
And
out.
I would encourage everyone to not sleep on it because, yes, all the old favourites, apart from the apple pie, which I've still not had, and now it's not on the menu. So don't think that, you know, it'll always be there and you can go another time, because one day
I'm sure Andy would do an apple pie just for you, though.
Well, that would be amazing, but I wouldn't like to ask for such privileges.
I'll ask. Don't worry. I'll sort it.
But,
in fact, if this is Tuesday, Andy, we want a fucking apple pie.
I would like an apple pie, but also there's a burger. So we talked about the burgers a couple of weeks ago. There's a burger and a vegan burger on the new Blackbird at Gorilla menu as well. So you don't even have to go to Impossible, which is very exciting. I mean, I'm sure Impossible's lovely, but yeah. Ian says you're a bit muffled. That's just Monday night.
It's just the post Floodlit Cup blues, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I shouldn't be muffled.
Sounds all right to me.
Good.
Ish.
Well, as all right as it's possible to be. Also in the admin, you'll have noticed with Jonathan the Geordie Hatter being live on the Saturday just gone, we've added the playlist from that song to our Spotify playlist. That has had upwards of like 8 people have saved that playlist. That's
Bloody
cool.
hell.
That's cool. Yeah.
It's I feel like it's too intellectually elevated for me.
No.
There's not enough like Britney and Taylor Swift.
Well, you know what to do about that, Hannah. I'll set it to collaborative once I can work out how.
Yeah, do it. Jonathan will be like, what's going on?
Harry Styles is on there. I put him on there.
Oh really? I did
Yeah.
miss that.
He was one of the first songs that I put on there. Yeah.
Right. Well, I'll give it another go. But I do like there is a rival Stockport County playlist on Spotify, which is put together by someone that does the music at the club, and I think it's just called Stockport County. That's a very less intellectually high level.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because you know who used to do the music at the club?
Jonathan Baker?
What's got 2 thumbs and used to do the music at the club? This guy. Pre-takeover. I was the first casualty of the Vita era. I was. Because I used to put a playlist together. I used to do a nice graphic for it and share it on socials like the day before. Really cool. And then Vita era came and went. I didn't get asked for it again. I was the first casualty of the poster, but I didn't get embittered by it.
Clearly.
I got on board. I was fine with it. It's the first time I've mentioned it. It was 5 years ago. This is the first time I've mentioned it. I do have a little smile to myself when I'm at a game, and at half time or pre-match, I'll hear a song that I put onto the playlist. And I'm like, I did that. Oh, it's that Blossom song that's got swearing in it. I did that. Yay! Oh, go me. Also in the admin, Hannah, what should people do? Give the people some instructions.
I'm fairly sure that they should like and subscribe. But do you know what? Every week when you ask me that, I wonder what instruction I've missed, what I've forgotten. But yeah, I'm fairly sure it's to like and subscribe and give us a 5-star rating on podcast platforms. You can write whatever you want, but 5 stars. And yeah, I think that's all of it.
Yeah. And we'll also tentatively inform people to keep themselves. I think there was 2 things to tentatively inform people about, but I'm not too sure.
Really? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know that your reaction then suggests that maybe there's another one.
I don't know. I'll just. You carry on. I'll keep my mouth shut. Roles have been reversed.
Okay, well, we will be broadcasting live on Easter Monday, straight after our home game against Huddersfield. An as yet unconfirmed location in the SK postcode. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. Was that it?
Yeah, that was it. That's what I got excited about.
Yeah. We're gonna do the thing where we do it right after the game and we're all over emotional.
Yeah. Rather, yeah.
Like managers do sometimes.
Oh
on
my
Match of
God.
the Day.
Oh no, hang on, no, it's not. Hang on, we're like a week off. That's Huddersfield, isn't it? It's not next week.
No, it's not next week. Week after.
Yeah,
Next week after.
Huddersfield. I'm not looking forward to that, but
Nah, all right, we're doing a live.
I mean, I'm
pod.
looking forward to the aftermath. But maybe like mid second half, if it's not looking great, we'll put a tweet out saying, like, due to unforeseen circumstances, this will be out tomorrow.
Yeah. I was contemplating the idea of doing a pod on the Saturday to review the Friday game, and then doing the Monday one to. This is all production talk. We'll save this.
Maybe. I don't think this is what people have tuned in for.
No, I'll send you a voice note later. Shall we get on to the football then after this? So it was a weird one Tuesday because it was April Fool's Day, and
It was April Fool's Day.
One of our fellow content creators decided to come up with an April Fool that caused havoc. People lost their minds. He was getting abuse, death threats. People were, I believe, phoning the club asking if the game was off or not. And it was, so Des Hinks of The Scarf My Father Wore Substack /blog /newsletter /newspaper. He put an April Fool's tweet out saying, due to the issues on the pop side, as documented on this very show.
Well, there's an update.
And the home game was going to, I can't wait for that. And the home game was going to be called off. And this was nice early in the morning. And it did not stop people losing. No one bothered to check if it was from the actual club account or anything. People just, because people do that nowadays. They read what they see on the internet and don't bother to do any independent verification. People were going off on one. So I got into Stockport about 5 o'clock, met the aforementioned Andy James and Ben Taylor in the Armoury, and it was cracking the flags, Hannah. It was beer garden weather. I thought we didn't sit in the beer garden. We sat inside like the idiots that we are, just sneering at people. But we could have sat in the beer garden, and it would have been the weather for it. And then as soon as I got into I was freezing cold in that Cheadle, and it was that first half felt like such a weird atmosphere. I couldn't. Like the game started, and it was like it was a pre-season friendly or a BDSM game or something. It was very odd.
It was. So I did battle with the roundabout. I'm still really perplexed as to why there's 2 sets of completely pointless traffic lights coming up to the roundabout and the railway bridge, but I'll get over it. Managed to park at that car park at the end of Castle Street, which was just completely empty. It was a dream. What did I do then? I think I picked up some away tickets, and Charlotte and I went in to the pop side. So the pop side this week, women's toilets were open. There were temporary portaloos that they put in along the pop side fence, which was much better for people to use because the men's toilets were still closed. And as I understand it, not from anything from anyone to do with the club, but just people talking on Friday night, they've not necessarily fixed it all. So I don't know what the situation will be on Saturday. And Charlotte and I got pizza, Popside pizza. It was.
I had a note here. Remind Hannah about the pizza. So
oh my God, it was
done.
Epic. Right. A couple of housekeeping items. You don't get the pizza from the food and drink kiosk, because if you queue and you get to the front of the queue and then you say, can I order a pizza? They'll say, no, you need to go to the bar, which, clearly has a very long queue for beer. So I queued up again and ordered 2 pizzas. You get season ticket discount. They do various pizza and soft drink offers. So I think it was £18 for 2. So good. But I will confess, by that point it was late. And walking along the line of people, our row, we're never the last ones in, and it was people that are I normally say hello to as they come in after me, but carrying 2 boxes of pizza just didn't feel right. But it was really, really, really good. and I highly recommend it because I don't think that people necessarily know that it exists, or people who don't follow everything on the club social media. So if you are in the pop side over the next few weeks, I really recommend it. It was very, very good.
I'm going to make an effort to get in the pop side for what next
Oh, you
few
should.
weeks.
Oh, well, we can
Just for
upgrade
that.
Sophie's ticket, and then you can.
Oh, excellent! Now it's a party.
Yeah, you can't come to Lincoln because we've got our Swedish friend joining us, and I'm upgrading Sophie's ticket for him, but any of the other ones.
Excellent. Right, we will sort that. We'll do that. Yes, and I'll be testing out the pop side pizza. I mean, I trust your judgment on it anyway.
So, like, genuinely, really, really nice. Yeah. So that was Tuesday. That was my experience. But no, it was a weird atmosphere. It felt, I don't know, it felt like a bit like a dead rubber game. I was not looking forward to it. I thought we made harder work of the reverse fixture than we needed to, and I wasn't expecting much from it, and actually kind of really enjoyed it, but it wasn't necessarily that exciting for large periods, a little bit like the Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're about half an hour in when it goes back to what we were saying last week, actually, about the players who didn't really get a chance or didn't really get going in the first half of the season, really coming into form now. And we saw that with Jesse Fevs and Jack Diamond, and Anto as well, who is well and truly in the form of his life at the moment, both in terms of scoring and assisting, as we will find out when we get onto Saturday. But a touch of fortune with the Jesse Fevs goal. Eventually, Jesse Fevs is going to happen. People are going to start. So all I want is to hear one person in the courtyard or in the pub or at the ground call him Jesse Fevs, and then my work's done. I will call him Jaden Fevrier after that. I think that's fair enough. But a few minutes before he'd done it, where he'd cut inside onto his left foot, and the shot had gone just over the bar. And then he did it again. There was a sizable deflection, but it was on target anyway, so it's his goal. Really good. He looked delighted with that. I was delighted with that. It was really nice. And then we're going at half time 1-0 up, and you think, right, let's actually press on a bit and try and get a couple more, because you never know, it could come down to goal difference at the end of the season. But all credit to Stevenage. They were trying to play trying to have a go. Dan Kemp looked very good against us once again.
Do you know what? It's a funny one, because he scored on Saturday against who they were playing, but the Stevenage fans, I saw a discussion the other day that was titled, "Do we have a Dan Kemp problem?" Clearly not. Just, players that aren't constantly in form, are they? And, especially
playing in that position
strikers.
as well.
So they I think 3-0 was flattering.
Yeah, it was fair. There was some discussion about the second goal, because Kyle Wotton appeared to sort of bundle it home off the keeper, then off the defender and in, which does make it an own goal. Let's be fair.
I mean, it was given on the scoreboard, and we were all like,
it's like, really, was it? Are you sure about that, guy? And then 10 minutes later, Flash Score changed it.
Yeah, it changed the score quite quickly. Lucas James Wilding with his first goal for Stockport County. So.
Yeah, and last, probably, unless we end up signing him in the summer. But I'd hope our recruitment is going to be better than that. I'm very surprised to find out that Carl Piergiani is still only 32. That was the hot talk in the courtyard before the game.
Yeah.
I assumed he was like late 30s by now, but no, he's still 32. He's still a spring chicken. We've been like 18, 19 when he was with us.
Yeah,
I always assumed he was like mid-20s then.
And I think of him as being like in his prime when he was at Orient, but he was already kind of getting on a little bit. But he's solid, isn't he?
Yeah. And then the pick of the goals came, and it was Jack Diamond doing what he's done quite a lot when he's had everyone in the team, and you can see that he's getting more confident. He will do that, and he will frighten players. And there was an end product to it this time, which was lovely. It was a great goal, and it's not made it into the goal of the season contenders.
Maybe it was a little bit pedestrian, I suppose. There was nothing. We've got some goals in that goal of the season kind of whatever it is, poll survey thing that are showstoppers, aren't they? And it wasn't that. But like I said to my dad, I said that yesterday. I said that he was going to be one to watch, and my dad was like, "You're like a mother hen." I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly that's." I mean, given my age and their age, it's how I feel about most of the players.
Yeah.
That, properly, like I genuinely want them to be successful, and particularly players like Jet Diamond, who, had a really rough few years. I just desperately want him to do incredibly well.
Yeah, and they are now, which is nice, which is lovely. And then I left Edgley Park absolutely freezing, but ultimately happy.
Well, happy except for whoever decided that Lewis Bate didn't have enough Stockport gin in his life and he needed another bottle. Bevs or Jet Diamond for me any day.
The last time I heard so many people laughing at the Man of the Match award was when they gave one when we were 5-0 down at home to Wickham, when they actually picked one. That was the last time I actually heard so much laughter.
Will Collar, wasn't it? Was it Will Collar?
Yes, because he smiled on the picture.
Face?
Yeah.
But now I don't feel too aggrieved about it, given that he wouldn't necessarily have known that it might be his last bottle of Stockport gin for the season. So now I feel like I can't begrudge him it. And he did say, he went on Twitter. He's one of the few players that we've got that is fairly active on social media. And he went on Twitter and said, "I think I'll be sharing this with Febs and Jack." And I was like, oh. Be good feel about that.
Yeah. It's gin, though, isn't it? It's basically it's clear, so it can't make you ill. It's fine. It's all right. Thanks, Lower League Luck. Cheers, Liam. Great insight. He just sneezed and put his back out. I do that at least twice a day, so it's fine.
Liam's bought into. We've not done. Well, I've not done that much else today in my moments when I've not been working diligently. Clearly, about making Funko Pop versions of various things. Liam has one. I've not shared it with you, but I will do later. It's quite funny.
Excellent.
Quite proud of myself.
Maybe I'll try and take a guess what his accessories will be. I'll think about that and come back to you later. I'm really happy with the Funko Pop business. It's really. I wonder if there's a way we can actually get them made.
There is. It is phenomenally expensive.
Oh, of course it is. These things always are.
I've seen. I think they do. Like Funko do it occasionally.
Although, if there's a Jurgen Klopp one, I can just use that one and put like my own little jacket on it or something, and that can be a me Funko Pop. It's fine. If they've got like a 2016 Jurgen Klopp one, that can pass for me. Or a Steve Merchant one. I doubt there's a Steve Merchant one. But yeah, I'll do that. I will have a Funko Pop without having to spend an exorbitant amount of money on it. That is
but I would say that, and then I'd make my Funko Pop like an entire little outfit, and I'd like last time when I decided I was going to make myself a Stockport County scrunchie, and so I had to buy the material to make the scrunchie that had to be a particular type of polyester because I had to sublimate onto it. And then I had to buy a sewing machine to make the scrunchie. Do you know what? I told you this at Wealdstone, and I don't expect you to remember, but it was the most expensive scrunchie that's ever gone into production. I've never made another one. And I think it must have cost me about 50 quid because elastic, all of the stuff to make, loads of them. Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll get on to Exeter unless there's anything else on Saint Evenage.
Unless we're doing, are we doing Friday night first or are we finishing on Friday night?
I think we should finish on Friday night because it's a nice little glimpse into the future, isn't it? So I think we can get a good hour and a half out of that. To be honest,
I look forward to it. Liam can stick around for that because on Friday night I texted him and said we're at the under 15 Floodlit Cup, and the joy of Stockport County's academy versus the treatment of Bradford's academy was quite disparate. So.
Oh, really? Oh, see, we are lucky. Oh, good.
We are. I
Right.
genuinely feel lucky.
Yeah.
Like watching that.
There
Anyway.
were tears here on Friday night. We had several moments.
Well, there were tears when I thought I was going to be late to pick up my Tim Hortons Too Good to Go.
That's true. Yeah, you had to miss the trophy lift, didn't you?
Yeah. Anyway, Exeter.
Right. But before we get on to Exeter, we will. It's about the time of the show where we play a random county non-league goal of the week, which we will do now. I know what's happened there. I've put the wrong tape in. That was meant to be a tape featuring a random county non-league goal of the week, as sourced by our friend Chris Eaton. But I've accidentally put in a tape of. Do you want to explain what's happening there? Because I can't get past Sam Cosgrove looking at him like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Right at the end. Which, when you notice it, you won't unsee it. Tell us what was happening there on the pitch at half time on Saturday.
I'll go back and watch that. So this is a relay that is run by Exeter City every weekend. Exeter haven't lost all season.
Funny that.
Which, you know, having watched the replay and, you know, hearing the story, so they have to give something back to the guy who runs it. And if he doesn't take it off you, then you can't give it back. So that was that. And then Dave clearly threw his toys at the pram. He was robbed. Yes. There's going to be, I hear there's going to be like some kind of PGMOL letter of apology that's coming. I was most concerned when he was walking back, like before he took his shirt off and was running. I'm like, where's Lily? Because Lily had been stood at the side of the pitch. Shit, oh, she's there, she's fine, don't worry, she's just, you know, taking it all in. Whereas my kids would be like,
I mean, so yeah, that was friend of the show, Dave Philbin, having a terrible time of it. Now, he posted the video in the chat, and in the group chat, and we all had a good laugh at him. And then the story came out that, well, how am I supposed to win when the person won't take the hat off me? I was like, oh, okay. And looking at that, yeah, he clearly wins. And then there's a video of it from the other end that he shared on Twitter, and he won that fair and square. It's no wonder Exeter are winning it every week. Genuinely, I'm really upset on behalf of him. But he got to do a knee slide in front of the county fans. He
did. He got to run through the sprinklers. It was, you know, aesthetically beautiful.
Yeah.
A core memory.
Just a grown man making a show of himself. You'd love to see it. I thought that was what transfer windows were for.
And we thought the meltdown at the county juniors Christmas party because his team didn't win was bad enough. That was,
yes, he's got form for this. That's the best thing. Oh god, I'm trying to work out a way we can make him have like a third, like, catastrophic meltdown before the end of the season. I think we can engineer something.
We probably don't even need to engineer it. There will be something that everyone will lose their heads over between now and the end of the season. It's written.
Bolton's winner in the playoffs.
The 15 net goals that we concede to Wickham over 3 games.
Yeah. Oh god, I feel sick at the thought of it. But on to the actual game, Exeter straight out of the blocks. Really good to
like
see.
before
And
people had come in.
yeah,
So there was a pitch invasion and someone had been ejected before most people had even, well, not most people, but a lot of people had come in. Also, kudos to that guy for getting over the fence, because there was
I've seen the
some
picture of
guy
him and
there
the picture of the fence of
considerable
the barrier. I
agility.
would not have been getting over there.
Really impressive. And it was just, do you know what it felt like? It felt like Blackpool away. I think because, like, obviously there's the whole kind of fancy dress thing, but it was a beautiful day. People had come down the day before. They'd made like a long weekend out of it, and it almost felt at times on Saturday like the football was secondary to what was going on. And certainly at the beginning I had to kind of keep reminding myself that there was football to watch, and I couldn't just like people watch and catch up with people and kind of enjoy the sunshine. But it was good. It was a really good away day. It was another challenge. I mean, so the kind of interesting one here is that Gary Caldwell, who is the Exeter manager, he was on a 2-game touchline ban because he got sent off against Lincoln for the second time this season. Apparently, I love it, his defense as well. He's like, oh, what did he say? I didn't run and I didn't swear, but he's got a Scottish accent, so he's attributed it to his Scottish accent sounding aggressive. That's why he was sent off. But he really struggled with team selection. They've got a midfielder who's on loan from Brentford, who's pretty much out till the end of the season. And he just said that he got the team selection wrong. And the second half just was really, really slow. It felt like, I don't know, kind of almost like it was just rudiment. Like no one wanted to score another goal. It just sat down. Yeah.
Quite the weekend for Gary Caldwell, because he watched his son win a trophy on Friday night. For those who don't know, his son is in the county under-15 side, along with Michael Brown's son.
Yeah, captain. He's Jaden's captain.
Jaden Caldwell is captain. Yeah. Well, but we'll get back onto that later. But yeah, it just felt like very much a foregone conclusion once the same as Stevenage did on Tuesday. As soon as the second goal went in, heads just dropped, and there was no attempt to press or anything. As Phil Lloyd says in the comments, we didn't get out of second gear, which is nice at this time of the season. It's nice to be able to, as much as I'm a fan of it, I love Jeopardy as much as the next guy. As long as the next guy is not Ben Walker, because I thought I loved it, but bloody hell, he's a ridiculous man.
Oh, really?
But it's nice to be able to conserve energy, especially given that before the game we'd found out that Lewis Bate was out injured, quite possibly for the rest of the season if John Kieran on comms is anything to go by. Yeah. Benno took a knock in training and has got a pair of black eyes and
Jack Diamond, it was
fairly bad concussion. Was it Jack Diamond who did it? Oh, well, he's all right. He's Will people stop filling us in on little tidbits of information about the under-15s?
Do they not realise?
We're Floodlit Cupsmen. Is what we are. Yeah, we know about. If there's anything to know about the Floodlit Cup, we'll tell you. Don't start coming in like this is new information. Getting annoyed now. How can you get annoyed on this blessed day when we're getting to talk about the under-15 Floodlit Cup? Christ almighty.
What was I going to say then about Saturday? It was another game like Stevenage where we didn't have the majority of the possession, which has been a bit of it. We've talked about this over the last few weeks. The games that we've had more possession, a higher share of possession, we've lost, and the ones where we haven't, we've won. So this is another one that was that we had the minority. I mean, not by much, in fairness, but Stevenage was the same, and they didn't record a shot on target in the second half. Exeter, it just felt nah. Hey, did I tell you that Exeter have a lad from Stockport who plays for them, Ed Francis, who was the one that he would have got the assist if they'd have scored just before half time, but it went wide. He went to Stockport Grammar, and he was there from 2013 to 2017, I think, and was at Manchester City's academy, and joined.
I did not know that.
last summer. Yeah, Ed Francis. So he's a proper
It's
little
from
Stockportian.
Poynton.
Is he? I didn't know that.
Poynton is from. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he was because he. Yes, he played against us for Notts County, if I remember rightly.
Oh, right. I
In the
didn't know.
National League. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. But yeah, it was just very much a procession.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the odd as much as I like my Jeopardy. I don't mind. I'm quite happy to reserve the Jeopardy for the playoffs now because the playoffs is Jeopardy personified.
Yeah, and it was nice to see Woods get 2 goals. Like we were saying at the weekend, you know, if you take off penalties, he's getting well up there in terms of scorers in League One. He was the highest point scorer in League One on the EFL over the weekend.
Yes.
But you know, I'm sure people will still bitch and moan because they were only tap-ins, weren't they? They're like, there's no skill involved.
Oh, there's been some fantastic mental gymnastics done this week. It's just, but he must be close to, if he's not already on it, he must be very close to 20 overall goal contributions in terms of goals and assists, which is absolutely fantastic. And you're not going to find anyone else for the type of fee we'd be willing to pay. So he very richly deserved, because I think he'd be the first to admit that he should be scoring more. I know Dave Challoner said similar in interviews. So it's a good time of the season for him to start ratting a few in. That'll do his confidence the world of good as well.
Yeah.
Tanto again was superb alongside him as well. They've got a nice little partnership going on again.
Yeah, he's on 11 goals now for the season. I don't know. I'm sure someone will be able to tell us quickly what his kind of uplift is from assists. But yeah, I think the only thing that worries me slightly about kind of post Saturday, and it wasn't just us, Exeter, Gary Caldwell said that one of the things that they struggled with is like they had a halftime sub come on and then have to go off injured. I feel like we're kind of teetering on the brink of it's the time of the season where people's bodies start to not be quite so forgiving in terms of like shrugging off injuries. And also if someone's out, then it's out till the end of the season. That said, there are rumours abound that Ben Hinchliffe is closer to coming back than not.
Yeah, well, he said in the courtyard last week that he was shortly after he'd been addressed as Ben Hinchcliffe. He reported that he was 3 weeks away from training, but then I think Thursday there was a picture on the club social media of him in between in the middle of the goal, as the song goes.
Yeah.
But in terms of injuries, I'm just getting this horrible sort of flashback to 2023 and like having to play like half fit players who weren't even half fit in the playoff final. I've just got this. I mean, for all as good as Lewis Bate has been this season, you look at it and you think, well, midfield is an area where we do have very good players as cover. Nick Powell got some more minutes on Tuesday, and then Owen the SK3 TV away sponsored Owen Moxon got a start on Saturday. I thought, right, this is a day that he scores away from home, and we get to see our name on a club tweet. It's good, and then he took a right knock. There was blood pissing out everywhere, and it was just, if we can get that shirt.
No, I don't want that shirt.
Do you not?
No. God, no. Shirts made to be worn. I'm like the polar opposite of Ben. This shirt that I get will be worn. Charlotte wants to like cut it up. Can you imagine, Ben?
Whoa.
Charlotte wants to like cut it up and make it into a cropped shirt. That's what she wants out of it. No, I think shirts are made to be worn. And also I think it's like it's biological waste, isn't it, when someone's nose is leaked all over their body, over their shirt.
Then again, I suppose if maybe that's why Ben is into match worn shirts. Maybe he's got like a cloning thing going on. He's got like a lab that's why he moved house, because the new house has got a lab and he's just cloning all these players, including the shit ones.
Yeah. So no, I'd rather not have a blood-soaked shirt if that's all the same to the commercial team.
Okay, we'll let them know. Shall we send them a letter?
Yeah, but yeah, so I mean, little knocks, like obviously Fraser Hawthorne was playing without, I was expecting to see him in some kind of
the full mask,
Silence of the Lambs type ensemble.
Oh, I expected to see him in the horse mask from the parade last year.
No, that was someone was wearing that in the stand.
Yeah.
But no, he was all right. Yeah, it would have been awful to wear something like that in the heat. I mean, we were in very much in the shade in the away end, but I can imagine that it was really quite warm out on the grass.
On the grass, yeah. But it was good. Everyone who went seemed to have had a good. Like, people made like a family weekend out of it, which is all.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's not as wholesome as going to watch county under-15s in the FA Floodlit Cup on a Friday night, but still, it's still wholesome.
And I went down Saturday morning, came back Saturday night, did that thing where you pay to park on someone's drive and then realise that you could have parked on the road for free, which is always fun. And yeah, like quick walk to the ground, gave Cam a lift back because he's broken his foot. So had Stuart come and pick us up in the car, which was nice. So we just sat in the sunshine and waited for the lift to arrive.
Excellent.
And yeah, it was very kind of easy, home by 9:30. And I'm glad I went. I know when we talked about it last Monday, I was like, well, give me a good excuse and I won't be there. But I did.
Couldn't find one. Couldn't find one. You went and you were happy about it. There's a lesson there.
Yeah. And I have continued my betting against us. I know people have really strong opinions about this. I don't care, quite honestly, because the only game that I haven't done it for recently is Wrexham, and we know how that went. So I'll just continue losing my own money if that's all right with everyone, because
completely fine. You do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why people are bothered, but I get that I'm not like actively betting against us. I'm just covering all bases, because
just so you get something out of
seasons. Yeah. Like, I started doing it last season for the MK Dons game and did it until Notts County. So, it worked last year, so it's worth a go.
Yeah, I think so. Anything else on? Oh, I had a nice lead in to Exeter as well. I can't believe I forgot that when I was writing my stuff today. I was gonna say, and now we move on to what gentlemen have to do after intercourse. Exeter.
Oh my God, Nick!
Would have been great, wouldn't it? That would have been such a good moment. Honestly,
not your best work.
I don't know what is. If that's not my best work, I don't know what is.
No.
Well, in fact, I'd go as far as to say my best work was probably letting you take me out on a little date on Friday night. the under-15s FA Floodlit Cup regional final, which we'll get onto after this. Oh, genuinely, I don't know where to start. It was fun. I bumped into my my auntie on Edgerley when I was waiting to meet you, and she said, "Oh, where are you off to?" I was like, "Oh, county." She's like, "Oh, didn't know they're playing. It's a bit quiet." It was anything but quiet in there. It was superb. And then I was sat on a bench outside of Bobby Peel waiting for you, and some weird drunk guy came over to me. He's like, "You look very zen." I was like, "Thank you. I'd feel very zen if my friend got here quicker." And then we had a laugh.
I wasn't even late by my
standards. No, you. I was early. If anything.
I was early by my standards. So, like 15 minutes later than I'm supposed to be is unfortunately Hannah time. And I was inside that. So
yes, yeah, it was fine. And then I said he replied to me and said, he said, "Oh, he'll be here soon," and you'd leave it, wouldn't you? But I was like, "No, my friend's a woman. You can't. Men can be friends with women, you know." And the guy was like, "All right." And we came out for a drink. I was like, "Well, go and bloody have one then." I'm going to watch some top Floodlit Cup action.
Floodlit football action. It was genuinely really lovely. Like, just from walking in and them saying to us, "Are you Barnsley or County?"
Oh,
Excuse
Burnley.
me?
Let's get our facts straight. As the number one Floodlit Cup enthusiast, we should get our facts straight. It was Burnley. But continue.
Oh God! So have I told you this before? Liam knows this. I've got a proper mental block between Burnley and Barnsley, and normally I can undo it in my head because we're in the same league as Barnsley, and I know that Burnley are above us. As I started saying it, I was like, I have no idea here. I'm just
Totally
going to go
lost.
for one and hope for the best. But that's because it was all about the boys in blue.
Right, Ian Dowden, stop this. That was going to be an exclusive from an exclusive little clip we've got. Can people just stop? Oh, God.
Yeah, but does Ian Dowden know which National League game that? So hang on, right? So Ian Dowden has just pointed out that there were 1,200 people at the game on Friday night and 6,000 watching online. Must be a record for a county youth match. We think, in consultation with our brand new friends at the academy, that it's actually like an under 15 record. But on Saturday, there were fewer people watching. Who was it, Nick? I can't remember what I told you.
Maidenhead and Tamworth, babes.
Maidenhead and Tamworth in National League North than there were watching County against Burnley in the under 15s EFL Floodlit Regional Cup on Friday night, which is incredibly impressive. And I don't want to spoil it. Do you want to play our little audio? Because I can't remember. I was going to say,
as the
I think that it might
shameless content whores that we are, we got straight onto their manager, Joe Duckett, at the weekend and said, right, this is big. We want to chat to you about it. And also congratulations and well done and thank you. Do you want to come on and chat about it? Now, I chatted to him today. He couldn't do tonight because they are very much back on the grass, which we should know that tonight's training night. But he was training tonight, along with his fellow coach Jordan Keane as well, who was on Friday night, which we'll get onto shortly. Yes, so he did say, he'll come on ahead of the national final when that's all decided. So we'll do a very special episode with him talking about all things to do with the academy and looking ahead to that game against either Watford or Plymouth. But he said, do you need anything for tonight? Anything you need? And I just thought we'd ask him what the highlight of the night was for him. It's a nice, easy question to ease it in, and he's going to be a good guest. Let's play it.
In terms of highlights, like it's just the experience in a whole, really. 1,200 fans, I think, at an under 15s game is not really anything I've ever heard of before or come across. I think we had up to 5,000 people watching it via the stream as well. So yeah, just the exposure side for the players really is something that is really difficult to replicate in academy football. It's so behind closed doors and tucked away because of the age of the boys and stuff like that. But then to have the exposure of 1,200 people is possibly something that they'll never experience again, and definitely not again before they do reach something like first team level, if any of them were to get there. So yeah, just the event as a whole really, I'd say the main bits.
That's a good guest in the making right there.
Yeah, and that was, for me, that's what I loved about it so much, because you realised from the second that you walk in, and I meant to put it up, I'm so cross with myself. So they gave you a programme, and the programme folded out to be a poster. It was like something out of my, your teenage years when you take it out the middle of the magazine, and it was awesome. And it was just everything that they did, like the little touches. It was like going to a first team game in terms of the tunnel out all the way, so that's a one up on Wrexham already. They had one of what I assume was the younger teams as their mascots when they came out. They walked out with mascots,
the flag bearers as well.
They had the trophy on the NK Property Solutions stand that normally has the ball on it. It was just all, the scoreboard was up. It was all just so lovely. And
advertising board, scoreboard, the full lot. It was great.
There was nothing. And Joe touched on it there about the scouts. We should point out there were approximately 1,000 scouts and 200 county fans, but they were everywhere because it's very unusual that you can go to a game like that and it be kind of open, and you're watching these kids that are, some of them will probably go on to have incredibly successful careers. And the under 15 team as it stands, there's Mark Stott's son, there's Gary Caldwell's son, there's Michael Brown's son. They, so there's already kind of little bits of interest. Ethan Ashton, who was responsible,
one of the greatest saves I've ever seen at Edgeworth Park.
He's a county fan, and like that was the other nice thing. Like after the game, they did like post-match interviews with them, and I watched something. It's on LinkedIn. I don't know whether it's on social media otherwise. With them talking about they've got this next chapter program at the academy, and what they do, and sending them out to people that we've got relationships with, so Jaguar Land Rover, various kind of different like work experience, but also, so it used to be Paul Turnbull at Stockport Town, they'd have a kind of showcase game for them. And what they've done instead is they've had like effectively a careers fair, whether they go down a football pathway and what options might be available to them. Or they go and do something completely different. And that, for me, I know that the safeguarding of kids and the pedagogical side of it is really, really important. And so often these kids get cut from academies, and that's it. They've not necessarily been in mainstream educational, they've been in like a version of it. So Man City put their kids in St. Bede's, which is a fee-paying school. Previously they were at Wright Robinson, and so they've perhaps had a disjointed kind of education, and then suddenly they're like, right, well now you have to go off and be a normal person, and you're not actually going to be a world-class footballer. And it gave me so much hope for the academy structure for the future, but also the way that we're taking care of our young players and giving them experiences like that was what made it so bloody lovely. And it really was. It was just a really nice experience.
It links in nicely with what we were saying to Dan Malt last week about the community stuff, about how that stuff was going even before the takeover. And Mark Stott's obviously come in, and in his first interview, Mark Stott, he mentioned about how important all this stuff was, and he's just fully supercharged it. And it's the same with this. All this football education stuff existed in a more simpler form before the takeover, and again, it's just something we've gone absolutely bonkers with, and as we should, because I'm sure it's something we'll touch on with Joe when we do chat to him, is the mental health side of things. When you're built up, especially at the bigger clubs, players are built up to be this. At the age of 8 or 9, there's bidding wars between clubs for players, and then their parents might think, oh, they've made it now and stuff like that. They might grow up thinking they're the best thing ever, and then they get to 15, 16, they get cast out, and the effects that can have mentally. So it's good to see that we're doing all this stuff about careers in football, but then careers not necessarily, because a lot of them, they might, if they do get released at 15, 16, 17, they might just want to move away from football completely. And that's something that I always thought we didn't really focus on. But the fact that they've got all these club partners and they're doing stuff with them, saying, well, there's other careers, it's really good. And them that may be the happiest I've seen a county team look at the end of the game.
So cute.
I mean, if we'll touch on the game. County by far the better side. I feared the worst to start with, because a lot of those Burnley players looked like they were the size of men.
Physically very, very much bigger.
Yeah. But County just played lovely football. Just really nice football. It's like and you do get the sense that this is something, because this is what clubs try and do throughout the age groups. Like Pep Guardiola's a big one for it, the whole Barcelona thing. They start at the age of 9 playing like that, and to see County are trying to do that,
Yeah.
Because obviously Simon Wilson said in the summer about wanting a more controlled style of play, being better in possession, not quite as direct. Obviously we can mix it up, so it's good to see that. I was really impressed with Joel Stott up front. Mark Stott's son, of course. Mark Stott was there along with Simon Wilson as well, which was good to see.
And the rumour went, I don't know whether this is true, that Gary Caldwell was being flown with Mark down to Exeter on Saturday morning, which I'd love it if it was true. I don't
Dale Vince didn't.
Let's say that that's what happened, because I think that's a lovely story, because like they'd be like danced together on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Has anyone got our Joel socks? That habit, like,
yeah.
I missed.
Who's doing the washing this week? Who's washing the kits this week?
Yeah.
So the first goal was a classic. I'm trying to think back. I think it may be the best free kick I've ever seen at Edgeley Park from Oliver Huddleston.
Impressive.
Something about a left back banging in a left-footed free kick, and it must have been about 35 yards out.
Yeah.
I don't think I could kick it that far. Never mind get it over the wall and into the corner.
And do you know what? That was what was really impressive from both the goalkeepers, in fairness, but the players as well. Like I said to you, I go and watch women's football often, and it's a very different style of play, because it's a different game ultimately, because you see a lot more of that kind of technique and the ball control and the possession, and there was more of that, but combined with those really powerful passes kind of up and down the pitch rather than just running with. And there was lots of incredible kind of ball control and runs as well. It was a lovely kind of hybrid of very young football and then kind of the power that you see when they're a little bit older.
I mean, he's redeemed himself as Ian Dowden for all the times he's preempted something we're about to do or say on this episode. But he said they came out like a house on fire, just like the first team, then kept them at arm's length in the second half. That was exactly it. I can only think of one Burnley chance, which was the fantastic save from Ethan Ashton, county fan as well.
Yeah. Go on.
I've seen people saying it wasn't that good.
Like,
that was brilliant.
Any level, it was a stunning save. And, to then collect himself and go and prepare himself for their corner was... I mean, he's 14, 15 and a half max.
Yeah.
And, to have that composure and control... to kind of to palm it up, in a month of Sundays, I would have sent that straight behind me into the net. There's no way.
That's one of the things that fascinates me about football. One of my favourite things is when a striker scores, they get to go off and celebrate and all hug each other, and the game doesn't start again until they're done.
Yeah.
But with a goalkeeper, it's. Now you'll see it all the time now, but the teammates, like, when a goalkeeper saves a penalty or makes a great save, the teammates will all be like hugging him, and the goalkeeper is always like, "Get out, get over there, get over there." I love it. It's one of my favourite things. He was doing that, and he had chewing gum as well, and I was just like, "You look like you've been a goalkeeper all your life, mate."
Well, Corey O'Dye was on the chewing gum on Saturday as well, so I think the goalkeepers union is particularly strong.
It's the goalkeepers union manifesto.
Yeah.
For chewing gum, yeah. But no, it was great. The second goal was, I think we could probably say scrambled in from a corner. The player who was probably the pick for me, Richard Ilara, the number 5. He was a number 5 who looked to be playing in midfield, but I came to terms with it very soon because I was busy trying to see what time the floodlights came on, because it was of course the Floodlit Cup.
Yeah.
Turned out they'd been on like 6 minutes in, but we couldn't see because we were high up in the main stand. But genuinely, really, really enjoyed that, and I urge people. Hopefully, there's mixed messages on where the final will be. The final is normally at the home of one of the two finalists.
Yeah,
but it'd be nice if it was at Edgeley Park. I know when I spoke to Joe earlier, he said they were trying to get some clarification from the FA and everything.
Yeah, because the EFL haven't been able to tell them kind of when it is, where it is. I don't think they really know when Watford and Plymouth are playing their game either.
Yeah, they could be playing right now when we wouldn't know.
A little chaotic. But very exciting. And they're winners already. They've got a trophy.
Yeah.
But they could be national winners, and that's super exciting. So
Yeah.
well done to them all. They did brilliantly. And the really nice thing as well was the academy as a community. So, you know, from the little ones that walked out with them as mascots to the ones that were, you know, a bit younger, who were like a constant cheerleading group sat to the right of the dugout. And it was just so lovely. And yeah, it was a really good night. And hopefully we'll get to see the final at Edgeley Park. If not, I'm totally organising at least a minibus. If not,
Well, I spent the second half Googling like local taxi companies that'll do a minibus.
Yeah, because I'll be well up for that. And we did do some tentative Googling. We don't think it'll clash with the playoffs because
if it does, I don't care. I know where my loyalties will lie.
Do you know what? After saying that, I wasn't like, from a purely administrative point of view, I now know when the different playoff games are and like how they work out. And because I started to get like social invitations and got really, really excited. And then I was like, oh, unless we finish 6th, we're not going to be at home at 12:30 on the Saturday, which I would need for it to happen, unless we finish 3rd, Bolton finish 6th, and then we might be at Bolton. That's possible.
Well, for what it's worth, I think we'll be 3rd or 4th myself. I think we'll get one of those two best.
Well,
spots.
I'm not going to book tickets just yet. It's like proper.
But if the Floodlit Cup is on the same day, I know where I'm going. Everyone will be at Bolton watching us in the playoffs, and we'll be on a minibus down to Watford. Oh, we can go to the Harry Potter experience while we're there.
Have you not been?
I've been, yeah, of course I've been. Yeah. Does the Pope shit in the woods? Of course I've been. Oh, I've mixed two metaphors there. Do bears shit in the woods? Is the Pope Catholic? There we go. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just lovely. And I'm really pleased that they got to have that experience because, as Joe said in his comment, that, you know, some of them, it's the biggest crowd that they'll play in front of potentially ever. And certainly, like, even if they, you know, do sign professional contracts and come up, that, you know, it'll be years before they're playing before crowds like that. So a lovely experience for them, and a brilliant advertisement for the academy, for the football education program. Yeah, it was great. And they were also articulate and kind of well trained with the post-match interviews. Jaden Caldwell did some stuff before and was on the pitch with Steve Bellis on said to Dan, they got a bigger cheer when they walked around the pitch than the Kickstarts runners, but that was nice as well. They did a lap of honour, and hopefully they'll get to do it again on Saturday with the trophy. That would be nice. That
would be lovely. Which brings us on very nice. Oh, I had a little moment coming out of the ground after that, thinking, when I was like 14, 15, what was I doing on a Friday night? I was like, not that.
I was at County on a Friday night. That's showing.
Oh, you were. I wasn't. I was in the park, baby. Yeah. Right. We will get on to Rotherham after this. So that thing's come up again of losing a side losing their manager and then having to play, which it turns out doesn't happen as much as we think it does. It's just confirmation bias. No sign of an appointment on the horizon.
No,
unless I've missed it.
No. They've said that, what's he called? It's not Harmer, is it? It's Hameth, something like that. He's staying. They're not reappointing until the end of the season.
They'll probably bring Steve Evans in the summer.
You know what? It's proper comeuppance. It's karmic, because last season, Steve Evans was at Stevenage, and Rotherham, at the point that he went, had already been relegated. There was no need for him to go and leave Stevenage in the lurch on the edge of playoffs. And he did, and they took him, and now
He'll show up somewhere. He'll be at Crawley in 6 months or something.
Crawley, bless him. I'm so invested in Crawley's success now.
Yeah.
I genuinely want them to kind of scrape through. But yeah, so they've lost they've won their last 2 after a horrible run. And their last 2 were Northampton and Blackpool. Blackpool had a player sent off, but not until like the very kind of dying minutes. So kind of insignificant. It was 2-1. So it'd be interesting to see how they do kind of show up against us. They, like, it's a funny one because they were the team, even before the season started, they'd got Steve Evans in. They went really big on their recruitment. Really,
I was convinced they'd have it won by now. I thought they'd be by now.
And like even the people like Johnson Clark Harris are sat on the bench. I don't know whether he's back from injury, what's going on there, but yeah, it just feels like they've, I don't know, misfired somewhere. They've obviously got Sam Noom, who is their most prolific scorer, but I'm fairly sure that he's below Woods in terms of they don't have a Louis Barry or a Charlie Kellman or anyone like that from the teams around them. So I don't know. I kind of feel a bit like, well, if I bet on them, we'll probably be all right.
I mean, you'd expect. It's a weird one because you look at teams where their season is basically over, but then at the same time, as it was with Stevenage, a lot of players are playing for contracts and trying to earn new contracts for next season. So, yeah, these things don't tend to be as straightforward as you'd expect. But I think at home, I'd certainly back us against anyone, really. I think
at the moment as well, we seem
even
to
Wickham
a bit of a swing.
For all the talk of what Wickham did to us earlier in the season at Edgeley Park, there's a very real possibility that we'll end up playing them 3 times in about a week and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm not too... That's a very different Wickham team.
It's a very, very different Wickham team. We are back up to 2nd in the form table over the last 6, behind Birmingham, just above Wrexham. We're on form. Wickham are very definitely not. In fact, where are they?
I mean, it's just a case now of getting enough points to have that secured. I went
11.
on Radio Manchester earlier, and they were saying 9 points clear of 7th place. Like, surely that's it, guaranteed. Like, well, yeah, it takes something very special for us not to get playoffs now. But what it's about now is getting those wins as quickly as possible.
Yeah,
finishing as high up as we can. There's no point looking to the ramification. It's like when England are in a tournament and people say, well, it'll be better to finish 2nd because then we'll avoid this team. Then we'll avoid... No, on our day, we're as good as anyone in this league. I mean, Birmingham are running away with it and can finally get promoted tomorrow night. It's taken longer.
I didn't realise.
Finally... Yeah, they should have had it won in like Christmas.
Yeah,
but we've gone toe to toe with them twice. Obviously, only got a point off them, but we matched them for long periods of both them games. I'd argue in the second game we were the better side for most of it. If that game's another 5 minutes longer, we win that game. I think. Wrexham, we've had 1-0 win against them and a 1-0 defeat with. Speaking of Wrexham, they got an apology from a referee last week after they'd all claimed that it doesn't happen.
Right, I was going to say, yeah. Rumour has it that it was a referee from our neck of the woods, but I don't know how accurate that is.
Oh, tremendous. I do hope so. That'll further the conspiracy theories. So in terms of the teams we could end up playing, Reading, we've beaten them twice. Huddersfield, played them once, again, matched them for long periods. It was just a stupid own goal that we conceded it very early on.
And we've got them yet to see, to get the measure of them.
Yeah. Charlton, there wasn't much in it. Bolton, I mean, we were resounding victors against them twice.
Mhm.
Obviously Wickham, I think we'll see on the last day of the season that we're both a lot different to when we played last time. That was just a bad day all round. So it's there's no point looking at saying, oh well, I don't want to play this team, I don't want to play that team. It's like, well, you're gonna have to play someone good if you want to get promoted
Yeah.
in the playoffs. You're gonna have to play someone good at some point.
Yeah. And those teams that are up there, they're not ones that have been particularly prominent in, with the exception of Bolton, recent playoff campaigns. So it's been Barnsley, Bolton. Who was the other team last season that can't remember that was in the playoffs? Wasn't Lincoln, was it? No, I think. Anyway, doesn't matter. But they, Bolton haven't. It would be three in a row for them. But they're really, their place isn't secure yet either. Reading, I think, have been incredibly resourceful in the face of everything that's been going on. Dai Young's got an extension because it should have been, I think it was the 5th. It's now the 11th. From people I've spoken to, it sounds like they've got a board of directors, and the most likely outcome is that the EFL will force them into administration. So that would result in a points deduction, but it wouldn't result in the expunging of points. So and that kind of puts Huddersfield into the play, and then I think Leyton Orient are a little bit too far off.
Yeah, Orient are 6 points off now, and looking at the run-ins for all those sides, I don't think I can see them. I mean, if we're talking about Leyton Orient, I mean, Bolton, Reading, Huddersfield and Orient in 6th to 9th have all only played 40, as have Wickham when everyone else is on 41. So Blackpool are 10th on 41, same points as Leyton Orient, but you'd think it's been too many draws for Blackpool.
Yeah.
But again, they're another side I'd quite happily play in the playoffs if it came
Do you
to
know
it.
what, as well? Leyton Orient's a really good example of a team where we played them beginning of the season and got battered, and then played them again and won quite comfortably.
Yeah.
So, for all the doom mongering about Wickham, and we beat Leyton Orient when they were on an epic run of form.
We did, we ended that run,
and really were, with Marshall before the game, and really, really weren't expecting. Neither of us were expecting that outcome.
Yeah, I think for all the talk of us worrying about certain teams, we should bear in mind. I think a lot of people lose sight of the fact that teams will be worried about playing us because we've been up there all season. We're not one of these teams that's either crept into it on the last day or dropped from the top 2 and had an alarming drop off. We've been in and around the playoffs pretty much from day one, so teams aren't going to want to play us at all, regardless of what injury issues we've got.
Yeah, I think. Like Lincoln and Huddersfield, because they were relatively close last time, I think they're the ones that I'm most concerned about.
Yeah.
Peterborough are having an absolute nightmare, and they're going into the whatever it's called, Virtue Cup.
Well, they're playing Birmingham twice.
Birmingham, yeah.
They're playing them tomorrow night, and then
they lost at the weekend to who did they lose to?
Didn't they have a bit of a hammering, if I imagine?
Yeah.
Yes, they lost 4-0 at home to Northampton. Northampton.
No. Yeah. And Crawley was the one before, and they actually ended up beating them, but 3-4. It was 4-0.
Twists and turns to come, but not from us. We're going to be all right.
I'll bounce back by Good Friday, but by then they'll be knackered, heads down, and what's it called? Ferguson said that he, is really disappointed about that result, particularly on Saturday, because of the impact it'll have on their mentality going into the cup final.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, I think we should wrap up there. We'll do a bit of have I missed anything?
Yeah.
Go on.
Well, you've missed a big weekend of special Stockport County-ness. So,
I was just going to get on to that next point. It's still part of this, so yes, tell me.
oh, right, okay. Well, on Sunday, the women's team, ladies team, are playing against York at Edgeley Park. Tickets are available online still. I think there's still hospitality ticket. Me and Dan are going to hospitality. I'm taking Dan to hospitality for once. So
Oh, right. How the worm has turned. How the
that's
turntables.
Sunday. And on Saturday, it's the annual county collective game. I don't want to kind of issue any spoilers, but there's lots of things going on like around county collective and the different groups that are represented within the county collective on Saturday. So it's our kind of nominated game. So yeah, so that's something to look forward to as well. And on Saturday night, it's the awards, the Players Awards.
The Players Awards, which was who? So player of the season, young player, and goal. What are you going for if you had to vote right now?
I'd probably be really predictable and go for the Louis Barry Cambridge goal. Just because I'm basic like
that. But that is taking an opportunity, because I'm assuming that people who are there will get to present the player with it. So that's one less fan who's going to go and happy. Oh, am I wrong?
It'll be sponsored. Oh, right. Oh, I see what you mean. Right. Don't know.
So that's taking an opportunity away from a sponsor.
Maybe they'll bring him back, like wheel him in.
He's not doing out else, is he? So.
What was the other one? Young player of the season, Ethan Pye. Does anyone else want? Oh yeah, Ryan Rydell won it for a few years, didn't he?
Yeah, then Ethan Pye won it last year. Yeah,
and is still in contention. Ethan Pye. And what was the other one? Player of the season.
Player of the season. Yes, anyone who's played 5 or more games, but they've not put Lewis Fiorini on the list.
Oh, player of the season. Oh, is Lewis Bates too predictable?
No, I think there'll be a lot of votes for Lewis Bates. I'm going for Wootton for player of the season, and then probably Pye for young player, and then I'm going Tanto against Bolton for the goal.
Oh.
Interesting. Well, I was going to go Sam Cosgrove for all 3, but you can't.
Just bear with me while I do some googling. Dan Love in the comments says that he's heard that the event has been cancelled. So let's have a look, because you could buy tickets in the like fan events thing, I think.
Yes, let's get some.
I hate this website sometimes. I find it really hard to find things, like even things that I know where they are and what section they're in.
We've got a new one in the summer.
Oh yeah, and there's the Family Fun Day is on the 14th of April as well. You can get free tickets for that. So the awards thing isn't available for sale, but maybe it's sold out. Quite
possibly, yeah.
I don't know. There's no, because you think that they'd mention in the kind of the story about the award winners that, you know, it's going to be presented at Gore.
Yeah, that's
it was expensive, I think. I know the money was going to the community trust, but it felt like a lot around like the ladies. Like there's been a good few away games and all of that, so yeah.
Oh, we shall see. Fingers crossed.
Do you know what? In my scrolling, I've just found the next chapter week, which I saw on Twitter, LinkedIn, is on the website under news from March the 20th, and presuming it's the same, it's a really nice video talking about kind of all the different things that they're doing. And just scrolling through there, and we'll talk about this in the next few weeks. The amount that the community trust is doing is incredible, and for anyone whose kids are on Easter holidays already, there's a mosaic walk, there's the football camps, there's all sorts of things. I think they're doing County in the Park again. They do so much. There's the Kids Council that kids can take part in. There's a youth club for girls on a Friday night. There is it's incredible how much is on offer. And it's really hard to keep up with as well. So go scroll through the news section and find out everything that's going on, because it's absolutely stunning.
I'm going to do the Mosaic Walk at some point this week, so I will document. I will document my trip on that. Yes, we will have a very special Community Trust episode coming up, either this or next week. That's all lined up. We're just trying to. That's going to be a standalone episode because we think there's a lot to go out there. So that'll be a standalone bonus episode dropping into your feeds free of charge on both YouTube and on the podcast players and all that as well. I can now confirm further to the admin at the top of the show that our live show after the Rotherham game will be at Stockport Gin. We've got the okay from Paul. Speaking of Stockport Gin, we've got a bonus episode dropping this week where I chatted to Paul at Stockport Gin about their journey and everything. I'm putting the finishing touches to that, and that'll be out this week, audio and video. So that's good.
So if anyone would like to join us at Stockport Gin, if you get in touch and we'll fathom some form of list.
We'll get
the
people
guest
in there.
list.
You can a guest list. You can watch live. There will be drinks available for sale, and of course we'll be streaming to YouTube as usual. I'd imagine we'll move to 7:00 for that Monday night.
What?
So
because doing it later after you've been drinking after the game isn't the best idea.
You know me too well. Oh God! But yes, we'd like to have some people down there, and then we'll find a way for you to get involved in the show as well. It won't just be you sit there and watch us talk. We'll find a way. So it'll be me, Hannah, and Will hosting the show, and then we'll be streaming live to YouTube at the same time. But we'll have people in the room, and we'll try and do some cool stuff. Right, that just about wraps us up for one of our best. I'd say that
was a lot.
Best work. That was a lot for a team that are just having a procession towards the playoffs. That was quite a lot. I don't think we missed anything.
It's just a nice time to be a county fan for so many different reasons, like on the pitch, off the pitch. I'm just very content in where we are.
It feels like Sunday afternoon after you've had a roast dinner and you just sit in front of the telly and you can just have a little snooze in front of the fire. That's how it feels.
Mine was yesterday morning. I sat outside with a double espresso. The sun was shining. Sat out in my jammies with Madden on my lap, and I was like, "Yeah, this is good." 3 points yesterday, 3 points on Tuesday.
I have these moments occasionally where I'll sit there. I'll think, life's all right, actually. Yeah. Not too bad.
Yeah.
Next week we will also be joined by Dave Thompson to chat about the big walk, possibly the most ambitious walk that the charity lads have done so far.
And we can ask him what on earth he was thinking of. I mean,
Are you leading with that?
Yeah. So Dave, me and Madden, and also on bank holiday on Easter Monday before the game, there is a whole. Because they're doing the last leg, I think, from Disley to the ground, there are bits where you can meet them along there and do a little.
I think I'm going to nip down for that. Have a bit of a walk.
My mum's doing Easter Monday brunch, so I'll have to see how it holds.
What time does she want me? I'll sort my own brunch out like I always do.
I'll ask.
Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in. Your Ian Dowdens, your Dan Maltz, your Joe Inglesfields, your Phil Lloyds, your Mike Elsmores. I'm just scrolling through all there, just trying to get the big names. Your Chris Eatons, your Matt Bryans, your Liam Chews, your Matt Brady's, your Racehorse Rambles, your Mark Genos. Right, I've done too many names there. Just names everywhere.
The Racecourse Ramble nosing in for.
That was early doors. He just came to say, "Good evening, keep up the great work, both of you." He must have gone on the wrong podcast.
Yeah, or maybe he's bought into the whole. They do live rent free, and we just sit and talk about them.
Or maybe he's thought, oh no, the county fans were right about you getting apologies off referees. It turns out they're not all idiots after all. Nah, most of us are. Right, thank you everyone for tuning in. It's much appreciated. If you're tuning in on the audio, thank you. That's much appreciated. Let's say goodbye. We will see people on Saturday. At the Rotherham game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye. Everyone.